Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're diving into A Course in Miracles,
Okay.
specifically Lesson 84,
All right.
I am the light of the world.
Yeah, this is a good one.
It really struck me
Interesting.
how this lesson, ties back to perception and choice.
I see that. Yeah.
Those ideas that we've seen
Yeah.
throughout the course.
Absolutely. And this one, it's fascinating how it builds on
Okay.
all of the previous themes,
Yeah.
especially coming off of 83,
Uh-huh.
which was attack is a defense against the truth.
Yeah, that was a powerful one.
Right. So in that lesson, we were learning about how fear kind of is what leads us to attack
Right.
or to project our own guilt onto others.
That whole idea of like using attack as a way to avoid looking at our own stuff.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So lesson 84 kind of takes this a step further
Okay.
by showing us how choosing love and forgiveness
Okay.
can actually change our perception
Mm.
of the world around us.
So it's not just about like feeling good. It's about literally seeing things differently.
Precisely, precisely.
Okay.
The Course uses this powerful metaphor
Okay.
of the mind as a projector
Right.
to illustrate this point.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this projector analogy.
So think of your mind as a projector
Okay.
and your stilts as the film,
Okay.
whatever you're thinking.
Yeah.
Is what is projected outward and becomes your reality.
So if I'm constantly thinking negative thoughts, I'm basically creating a negative reality for myself.
That's the idea. If you're filled with fear, judgment, and resentment, that's what you'll see reflected back at you in the world. It's almost as if you're wearing a pair of old, scratched-up sunglasses that make everything look dim and distorted.
That makes sense. So how do we clean those lenses and start seeing things more clearly? Is that where this whole like light of the world concept comes in?
Exactly, exactly.
I-
The lesson suggests that by choosing love and forgiveness,
Okay.
we're essentially cleaning the lens of our projector, allowing the light within us to shine through.
So even if the external situation, like a difficult relationship, a stressful job, whatever stays the same, our perception of it can change dramatically.
That's right.
Okay.
It's not about denying the challenges that we face, but rather approaching them from a different perspective. It's about recognizing that we always have a choice in how we perceive and respond to any given situation.
It's like when you're feeling happy and grateful, even the small things seem more enjoyable.
Yes, yes. Or think about like how everything just feels lighter and clearer after a good workout.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's a similar concept here.
Okay, this is starting to click.
Yeah.
But how do we actually put this into practice? How do we like flip the switch and turn on that inner light?
Well, the lesson suggests something called mental check-ins throughout the day.
Mental check-ins.
Yeah, just taking a moment to pause and become aware of your thoughts. Are they making your world brighter or dimmer? Are you projecting love and understanding or fear and judgment?
So it's about becoming more mindful of our thought patterns and noticing how they're affecting our perception.
Exactly. And when you catch yourself projecting negativity, you can consciously choose to shift your focus. The lesson even suggests using affirmations as a tool to help us do this.
Affirmations like what?
Simple phrases like, I am the light of the world,
Aye.
or I let my light shine forth.
Okay.
Repeating these affirmations can help to retrain our minds and align our thoughts with a more loving perspective.
That makes sense. It's like consciously choosing to put on a new pair of glasses, a pair that lets in more light and clarity.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that this is an ongoing practice. We're not going to be perfect at it all the time. But the more we choose those loving thoughts and actions, the brighter our inner light will shine, and the more we'll illuminate the world around us.
That's inspiring. But I'm curious, where does forgiveness fit into all of this?
Oh, forgiveness is a huge part of it. You see, holding on to anger and resentment, it's like carrying a heavy load of bricks.
Yeah.
It weighs us down, blocks our light, and prevents us from experiencing true peace and joy.
I can really visualize that image.
Right.
It feels so heavy and burdensome.
Totally. Forgiveness, on the other hand, is the act of setting down that burden. It's about recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, including ourselves, and choosing to release the anger and resentment we may be holding on to.
It's like that saying, forgiveness is a gift you give yourself.
Yeah.
It's not about condoning the actions of others, but rather about liberating ourselves from the pain and suffering we're inflicting on ourselves by holding on to those grudges.
You've got it. It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected, And that by choosing forgiveness, we're not only freeing ourselves, but also contributing to a more peaceful and loving world.
So it's not just about changing how we feel, but also about affecting the world around us.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's powerful.
And the Course reminds us that true forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing practice.
Hmm.
A willingness to see beyond the ego's illusions and to recognize the inherent goodness in ourselves and others.
This is all so much to digest. I feel like we've already covered so much ground, but I know there's even more to explore.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific in the source material about how this lesson relates to previous teachings in the Course?
There is.
Okay.
And it's a really interesting connection. Lesson 84 is actually a review of 2 earlier lessons.
Okay.
Lesson 67, Love Created Me Like Itself, and Lesson 68, Love Holds No Grievances.
Okay, those titles are ringing a bell, but I could definitely use a refresher. What are the key takeaways from those lessons?
Well, Lesson 67 emphasizes our inherent connection to love. It's the idea that we are, at our core, beings of love, created in the image of love itself.
So it's about remembering our true nature,
Yes.
the part of us that is pure love and light.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that beneath all the layers of fear and ego, there's this spark of divinity within each of us.
And what about lesson 68?
Okay.
How does that tie into this idea of forgiveness?
Well, Lesson 68, Love Holds No Grievances, builds on this foundation by highlighting the importance of letting go of the past and embracing forgiveness.
So it's about recognizing that holding on to anger and resentment is simply not aligned with love.
Precisely. Love is about acceptance, understanding, and compassion.
Right.
It's about seeing past the errors of others and recognizing their inherent innocence.
This is really resonating with me. It's like we're building a foundation of self-love and forgiveness, and then using that foundation to shine our light out into the world.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And by revisiting these 2 lessons, Lesson 84 helps us to see how they all connect to this powerful idea of being the light of the world.
Wow, this is really starting to come together. It's like we're weaving a tapestry of understanding, connecting these different teachings into a beautiful and intricate whole.
Yeah. And the amazing thing is this tapestry is constantly expanding. There's always more to learn, more to discover, more to integrate into our understanding.
That's what I love about A Course in Miracles. It's a journey of continuous growth and expansion. But I'm curious, is there anything specific in the source material about how we can apply these teachings in our daily lives? Like, are there concrete examples of how we can let our light shine a little brighter each day?
There are, and I think it ties in perfectly with what we were discussing earlier about mental check-ins and affirmations.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Well, imagine you're stuck in traffic, feeling frustrated and impatient.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of letting those negative thoughts take over, you could try shifting your focus to gratitude. Maybe you're grateful for the comfortable car you're sitting in, or for the opportunity to listen to a podcast while you wait.
Or you could send a silent blessing to the other drivers around you, wishing them a safe and peaceful journey.
Exactly. It's about those little shifts in perspective, those seemingly insignificant moments where we choose love over fear, forgiveness over resentment, and light over darkness.
So it's not about waiting for some grand opportunity to make a difference, but rather recognizing that every moment is an opportunity to let our light shine.
Beautifully said. It's about bringing that awareness of our inherent light into every interaction, every thought, every choice we make throughout the day.
This is truly inspiring. I can already feel myself starting to see the world in a new light, so to speak.
That's wonderful to hear. And remember, it's a journey, not a destination. There will be times when we stumble or fall back into old patterns, but the key is to simply notice those moments, forgive ourselves, and gently redirect our thoughts back towards the light.
It's like we're constantly recalibrating our inner compass to point towards love and light.
Precisely. And with practice, it becomes more and more natural. The more we choose those loving thoughts and actions, the brighter our inner light shines and the more we illuminate the world around us.
I love that. It's such a powerful reminder that we all have the ability to make a positive impact, no matter how small our actions may seem.
And that brings us back to the core message of Lesson 84. I am the light of the world. It's not just a statement. It's an invitation to step into our true nature and to embrace the power of love and forgiveness to transform our lives and the world around us.
This has been an incredibly enlightening conversation. I'm so grateful for your insights and for helping us dive deep into this powerful lesson.
The pleasure is all mine. It's always a joy to explore these profound teachings and to witness the spark of recognition in others as they connect with these truths within themselves.
And speaking of sparks of recognition, I have a feeling our listeners are going to have a lot to ponder after this episode.
I wouldn't be surprised. There's so much richness and depth to unpack in Lesson 84. And speaking of unpacking, I think we're ready to move on to part 2 of our deep dive, where we can explore some of the more nuanced aspects of this lesson.
That sounds great. I'm excited to see where this conversation takes us next.
Me too. We're back.
And ready to keep going with Lesson 84.
Yeah, one thing that really stands out to me in this lesson is the emphasis on personal responsibility.
That's interesting. How so?
Well, the lesson really challenges us to recognize that we're not victims of our circumstances,
Okay.
but rather we're creators of our reality.
Oh, I see. So it's about taking ownership of our thoughts and recognizing that they have a direct impact on our experiences
Exactly.
and the experiences of those around us.
Exactly. It's a call to step into our power as conscious creators and to choose thoughts that align with love, forgiveness, and the light that we truly are.
I think that's a really empowering message, especially in today's world.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in negativity and blame.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the lesson provides some practical tools for kind of taking ownership of our thoughts and shifting them towards a more loving perspective.
Like those mental check-ins and affirmations we talked about earlier.
Yes. Those are incredibly powerful techniques.
Yeah.
By regularly checking in with our thoughts and consciously choosing to focus on love and forgiveness, we can literally rewire our brains
Yeah.
and create a more positive and fulfilling reality.
It's like we're training our minds to see the world through a different lens, one that's free from the distortions of fear and judgment.
You're getting it. And the more we practice this, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, choosing love and forgiveness becomes our default setting,
Right.
and our inner light shines brighter than ever before.
This is also inspiring, but I have to admit, it can feel a bit overwhelming at times. Like, how do we even begin to apply these teachings in our daily lives?
Yeah, I understand it can feel like a big shift, but the beauty of A Course in Miracles is that it offers practical guidance for every step of the journey. Remember the one small way challenge we mentioned earlier?
Yes, the idea of finding one small way to let our light shine a little brighter each day.
Exactly. That's a great place to start. It doesn't have to be anything grand or dramatic. It could be as simple as smiling at a stranger, offering a helping hand, or practicing patience in a challenging situation.
Those are great examples. It's about those little moments where we choose to act from a place of love and kindness, even when it feels difficult.
Exactly. And the more we make those choices, the more we kind of strengthen our love muscles
Yeah,
and create a ripple effect of positivity
right.
that extends outward into the world.
I love that analogy of love muscles. It reminds us that choosing love is a skill that we can develop and strengthen over time.
Absolutely. And as we practice, we become more and more adept at recognizing those opportunities to let our light shine. It's like we're constantly expanding our capacity for love, forgiveness, and compassion.
This is also beautifully interconnected. It's like every lesson in A Course in Miracles builds upon the previous ones, creating a tapestry of understanding that's both intricate and profound.
I agree. And I think that's one of the reasons why the Course continues to resonate with so many people. It offers a roadmap for spiritual awakening that's both practical and transformative.
And it reminds us that we're not alone on this journey. We have each other, and we have the guidance of the Course to help us find our way back to love.
Beautifully said. And, speaking of finding our way back to love, there's one more aspect of Lesson 84 that I think is worth exploring. It's the idea that choosing love and forgiveness is not just about personal transformation, it's also about healing the world.
That's a powerful concept. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, the Course teaches that we are all interconnected and that our thoughts and actions have a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves.
Right.
So when we choose love and forgiveness, we're not only healing our own wounds, but we're also contributing to a more peaceful and harmonious world.
It's like we're all threads in the same tapestry, and when one thread is healed, it strengthens the entire fabric.
Exactly. And the more of us who choose to align with love and forgiveness, the stronger that tapestry becomes. It's a collective effort, and every act of kindness, every gesture of compassion, every moment of forgiveness makes a difference.
I love that imagery. It reminds us that we all have a part to play in creating a more loving and just world. But I'm curious, does the Course offer any specific guidance on how we can extend this love and forgiveness outward into the world.
Right.
Like beyond those small everyday acts of kindness, are there other ways we can make a difference?
That's a great question, and I think it leads us perfectly into the next part of our conversation, where we can explore some of the more practical applications of Lesson 84.
Okay, I'm excited to dive deeper into that. Let's keep going. Okay, so let's talk about like how we can extend this love and forgiveness outward into the world.
Yeah, that's a great question.
You know, like are there practical things we can actually do?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, one of the things that really resonates with me from Lesson 84 is that reminder that we're not actually separate from one another. We're all part of this larger whole, and our thoughts and our feelings and even our actions have an impact that extends way beyond just ourselves.
Right, right. It's like that that butterfly effect idea.
Yeah.
Like even the smallest actions can have far-reaching consequences.
Precisely, yeah. And the Course suggests that when we choose love and forgiveness, we're not only healing our own wounds, but we're also contributing to this like collective shift in consciousness.
It's like we're all interconnected,
Yeah,
and by raising our own like vibration, we're helping to raise the vibration of the planet as a whole.
that's a beautiful way to put it. Yeah, and the Course offers some very specific guidance on how we can extend this love and forgiveness outward, beyond just like our immediate circle of family and friends.
Right.
It encourages us to see everyone, even those who we perceive as difficult or challenging as our brothers and sisters.
Okay, that's a challenging concept,
Yeah.
especially when we're dealing with people, who have hurt us or wronged us in some way.
I agree. It's not always easy.
Yeah.
But the Course reminds us that everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's capable of transformation, even those who appear to be lost in darkness. They're still children of God, worthy of love and compassion.
So it's about recognizing kind of the inherent goodness in everyone, even when we can't see it.
Exactly, exactly. And it's about remembering that forgiveness isn't about condoning, harmful actions, but it's about releasing the anger and resentment that we might be holding on to, and choosing to see the situation through a lens of love and understanding.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, does the Course offer any practical suggestions on how we can actually do this?
Yeah.
How can we cultivate that kind of compassion, especially when it feels difficult?
Well, one practice that the Course recommends is to simply send love and blessings to those who we find challenging. Yeah, it could be a silent prayer or a visualization or even just a heartfelt wish for their well-being. The key is to kind of shift our focus, from judgment and blame to acceptance and compassion.
So it's about recognizing that everyone is doing the best they can with the understanding they have at the moment.
Exactly. And it's about remembering that we all make mistakes and we all have the capacity for growth and transformation.
This is really making me think about those times when I've been quick to judge or criticize others. It's like I've been projecting my own, fears and insecurities onto them rather than seeing them as fellow travelers on this journey called life.
It's a common human tendency, yeah. But the Course reminds us that when we judge others, we're actually judging ourselves.
Oh, wow.
It's a reflection of our own unresolved pain, our unhealed wounds.
So it's about recognizing that our perception of others is often more about us than it is about them.
That's a profound insight, yeah. And it's a reminder that the most powerful way to change the world is to start by changing ourselves. When we choose love and forgiveness within our own hearts, that energy radiates outward and has a transformative effect on everyone we encounter.
It's like we're each a little beacon of light, and the more of us who choose to shine our light brightly, the more we illuminate the world around us.
What a beautiful image, yeah. And it reminds me of one of my favorite quotes from A Course in Miracles. "The light of the world is in you, shining with all the power of God."
That's a powerful reminder that we all have the potential to be agents of love and healing in the world.
Exactly, exactly. And Lesson 84 encourages us to embrace that potential, to step into our role as the light of the world, and to let our love and forgiveness shine forth, illuminating the path for ourselves and all those who cross our path.
This has been such an inspiring and thought-provoking deep dive into Lesson 84. I feel like I've gained a whole new understanding of what it means to be the light of the world.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I hope our listeners have also found this exploration to be insightful and helpful on their own journeys with Course in
Yes,
Miracles.
they have. And as we wrap up this episode, I'd like to leave our listeners with a final thought to ponder. How can you let your light shine a little brighter today? What small act of love or forgiveness can you offer to yourself or to someone else? Remember, even the smallest gesture can make a difference. It's about those seemingly insignificant moments where we choose love over fear, forgiveness over resentment, and light over darkness. Thank you for joining us. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you tomorrow.